yet. Hello, hello. Anyone out there? So much to do tonight. I've been prepping this evening for you guys. I'm just tagging a few people who are usually here hanging out with me. Carol. Hi, Karen. Hello, hello. We have a lot to do tonight. Hey, Mamacita. All right, if I missed anybody, say hi. I tried to grab everybody as they were coming on. Hi, Mickey. Okay, so we have quite a few things that we're going to do tonight. We are going to actually color this baby dragon. And I have the whole setup for the baby dragons. So we're going to do that. But we're also going to do, I have this one set up. So we're going to do that one. And then we are going to actually play with paste as well. We are going to do this one with some green paste. And then, I've never played with this before, but we're going to try it. So, I have this really fancy stuff here called Metallic Gilding Polish. We're going to try that as well. So, I did set up the cards to get ready. On your way home, be there in a few minutes. Nice. So, I did start it all and kind of get it ready for us to make cards. So we're going to be looking at all of these stamp sets tonight and playing with all of these stamp sets. So baby dragons, we're going to color this baby dragon. We colored from It's Your Birthday, we colored this girl and this girl the other night. It's going to be a fun, fun night. And then we're also going to use this sentiment down here that says it's all just numbers. Happy 29th birthday. And then we did Cake is Life on Wednesday. We did 2 of those. And then we're going to use this sentiment that says happy birthday. Some things are worth being fluffy for. Case in point, cake. And if you had to choose between cake and being skinny, what flavor would you choose? So we're going to use that. And then for one of the cards, I used all these numbers as the background. So when we get to that, I'll show you how we're going to do that. So I've already chosen the colors for the baby dragon. So I think we're going to start with the baby dragon. So I chose these blue colors. I know, so much fun. So much to do and so much fun. Okay. So I decided, I have a lot of embossing powder laying around here, and I'll explain what I did with the embossing powder when we get to that part. So we're going to use, these are the oxides that I came up with that match these cards pretty well. So we're going to use those, but not yet. We have to do our baby dragon first. We're going to use this stencil. This is the Manly Mandala stencil. Hi, Ron. This is the Manly Mandala stencil we're going to use. We're going to use both these. One is going to matte and one is going to be the card base. We're going to use this little sentiment right here. So this one actually came from the Cake is Life set, I believe. And since I already cut it out, I thought we'd color the words with our baby dragon, so that we can use it and it will all match and we'll be super duper happy. So that's the plan so far with that one. So I'm going to put those things aside and pull out the markers that I picked for this one. Okay, so we have this baby dragon, which we're going to have to fussy cut. in a little bit, but I already used the dies, the matching dies for the girls, the It's Your Birthday. I already cut out the girls with the dies, and I cut out this little guy from Cake is Life already. So I did a few jump starts before we got started tonight because I knew this was going to be kind of a long night, and I wanted to get as much prep done as I could. So this is our baby dragon. And we're going to start the baby dragon with the light colors first.
Answer the question.
What color are those oxides? They are Savage Patina and Broken China. So mine are all kind of messed up because I used to use these little spongy things and I stacked them and it kind of messed up my container, but the ink pads are still good. So this one is Broken China, this one's Salvaged Patina. So they look similar, but when you take the lids off, see how different they are? So we'll see the difference of that when we get to it. So let me zoom in. Hold on, let me zoom in so you guys can see this little baby dragon on here. Okay, so when I color these little baby dragons, and this one is my favorite one to color, I like to do, I have a few colors already chosen, but when I do it, and I'm going to use this tool just to point, when I do it, I like to do this part and the little tail part right here, and these little spikes in one color, and then I'm going to color these two little horns in a like a tan-ish color, but then inside here I'm going to color that even a different color, and then the baby dragon skin will be a bluish green. And the eyes, of course, will be different as well. So just giving you an idea of where we're going, but you'll see it as we go. Hi, Diana. Hey, Rinska. You haven't really started. Nobody's missed anything yet. I just kind of went over all the pieces that I have prepared for tonight's live. So we have this one. We're going to make a card. Then we're going to make a card with both the girls from last night, and then we're going to make 2 cards from the Cake is Life we colored on Wednesday. So lots and lots to do, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So I have chosen a yellow-ish combo for these little places here. And his little tail and stuff. So I chose these 3 colors. Okay, so YR31, Y13, and YR30. Now this just happens to be a darker shade than the lemon yellow, so we're going to start with the YR31. I did pick some colors that have some interesting mixes in them just for some fun. So we're going to start with YR31, and we're also going to color this Happy Birthday that we're going to use as well, but not yet. We're going to start with the baby dragon, and we'll go from there. So here we go. Okay, so with this YR31, and this is going to be a little bit challenging because this is a very tiny area. Okay, sounds good, Mom. But we're going to do this part in the back that's closest to him, and a little bit along the bottom because this is going to be a really dark color right here, but I don't want to do the whole thing in that color. So there we go. Just really, really light. I'll show you up close, kind of personal so you can see. See how it's just along the bottom? This YR30 is significantly lighter than this YR31, so you'll see that in a little bit. So right here at the base of this little flame tail, I'm going to do just this bottom area in that dark color. And I might wait on the spikes because I don't know, I'm still struggling with whether to do them in the pinkish color or the yellow color. So let's just roll with it and we'll decide as we go. So Y13 is going to be really, really yellow. So we're just going to kind of go over that same area. Just kind of pushing back into that color. And I'm going to show that to you up close. It's not a lot of ink, but it's still left a very light line at the top. And that's what we're going to do the last color. And then right here, kind of bring that out so that you can kind of see the different colors in there as well. And then I'm going to come in with the YR30. So this one is going to go along the top here, and it's just going to kind of blend those two colors together. So it's not really going to look like a shadowy color. It's just going to look like one complete, well blended color. Now the tail, I want that to look a little different, so I am going to come from this end and go into the other color just to keep those separate. Kind of like we did last night with that other, with the flames, when we colored the flames. So see how that's quite different right there? I want to keep that tip really light. And I think because these yellows look so good and so natural, I may do his little horns in these yellow colors as well. So let's go ahead and do that. YR31. I was going to make them tan, but now that I see this color live, I think I might want to do them in this color. So just doing the base part where it's covered here, and then just the bottom here and along the underside. Okay, back to the using the marker stand for the first time. Woohoo! You like it? Y13. I love it. I think it's so helpful to you guys that are watching. Okay, so I'm pulling from that first color. Kind of blend those two together. You are coloring with me, aren't you, Julie? I sent you the colors right before we started because that's about when I decided what color I was using. Yay! I was a little worried about making it tonight because we did go to Six Flags today and we were out running around in that almost 90-degree weather today. And I was so tired when I got home. I thought, oh, how am I going to do all of that coloring and all of that stuff? But I took a shower and I bounced back, so pretty happy with that. Okay, so on this one, I'm blending into the color I had there. Just even on this one as well. There we go. So just kind of leaving it pretty light there at the top. So cute. Oh, Cooper was super excited. It was so much fun, but it was also disappointing because when we first got there, we went to the kids section and it was completely closed. They didn't have any of the kids rides except for the little truck ride at the entrance. The whole section was blocked off. It was hot, yes. So luckily, Cooper is 42 inches tall, so we were able to try and go find some other rides that he could get on, and that boy has no fear. None. Zero. He was like, I want to go higher. I want to go again. I was like, oh my goodness. My daughter is in for some craziness with that little guy. Okay. So for the next color, I chose E97, E95, 93, and then R30. So it's going to be a little bit of a peachy color, and then it's going to turn a little bit more pink. It was so cute. I mean, he was so cute. And this one lady goes, she was in line, and the girl who was older than Cooper by far, maybe 4 or 5 years, and they were like, "Are you going to ride with us?" And she was like, "No." And they asked Cooper, "Are you riding this ride?" And Cooper was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Oh, you have to ride, because that little boy is going to ride." They didn't guilt her into it, though, but they tried. Okay, so I'm just going to use this color and just barely touch these little toenails, claws. I know, it was so funny. They really tried to guilt her into getting on it, but she would not do it. She was like, "Nope, not doing it." Okay, so with this E97, I'm just going to touch right up here where that wing part is kind of hidden. It's sort of tucked up and folded. So just a very, very little bit. I'm going to zoom just a teeny bit more because these are really small spots. You're that girl that's not going to ride. Yeah, Cooper did really good. I couldn't believe he was really a trooper. I will tell you some strange stuff happened though. So Haley and I thought, well, there's not a whole lot of people here and a lot of the rides are closed and stuff. So what we were going to do is take turns and ride the Batman ride, which is one of my favorites. So I said, "You go first and I'll hang out with Cooper." There was like a water spray thing around and he was super excited about it. So I was letting him run in and out of the water to cool off a little bit. And she goes and she texts me and she said, "I got on the Batman ride right away. You should do this too." So she rides, she gets off, she comes out, she goes, go do it, Mom." So I was all excited. So I run up there and I get in line and like literally run right up and get in the spot that you need to be in to get on the ride. So I get in that spot and I'm standing there and they unload the people who are on there and the fire alarm goes off. No joke. So they go, "Everybody has to leave. Everybody has to evacuate." They evacuate the building. They stick us out behind the ride and nobody knows how to get back into the park. So we're walking and oh, it was such a nightmare. So I was frustrated. Never got to ride Batman either. So yeah. So there's that. But Haley did, because luckily she was safe on there when they went, because I don't know what happened, but the alarms went off and you could kind of smell some, I don't know, smoky, like rubbery smoky something. They ended up opening it later in the day, so they must have figured out what was going on. But, okay, so what I did was pull from that really dark area up there, and then I'm just touching down here in the corners where it's a really small area, just to give it a little bit of depth there. So yeah, it was a little bit scary, but I eventually figured out how to get back over to Haley and we were good. Okay, so this wing is folded up so much that I'm going to finish this wing off with this E93. But this one, I'm just going to go along the edges, along the bottom, and then I'm going to fill this one in with the last color. So this is how I get a little bit of depth in these cute tiny wings. So cute. I think we should do his spikes in this color, since we did his horns in yellow. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So this is R30, and I'm starting with these light colors because his body is gonna be like a blue-green color. So I wanna get the light colors out of the way so I don't pull in any of that blue-green into these really light colors. You can do that when you plan your colors ahead of time, but if you don't plan them, then you just gotta wing it. So there, you can see some really good depth shadowing in those wings on these when you do them like this. So I really like that effect. Okay, so back to E97. I think I'm going to do all these little spikes in that same color as his wings. So we're going to go ahead and do that next. Alright, E97. We'll color more of these baby dragons probably maybe on Monday before I go on my trip on Tuesday. But tonight I could only do one if we're going to make all the cards. So I'm doing the part that's closest to his body and then up a little bit at the base of those spikes. And this takes a really gentle hand because you want to keep those lines very thin. So I'm taking my time so I can keep them really small. I know it is almost translucent, isn't it? I love it. It really came out good. I just randomly picked these colors before the live, but I'm pretty happy with them so far. And then this one is just where his little horn overlaps, and then that little piece right there. Okay, the bottom of this one. Then we're going to do just a little bit more here.
Nikki asked, are you heading this way again?
Yes, I am. Tuesday, I fly to Idaho. Wednesday, we leave for Washington. From Idaho, driving. So there we go. I am coming to Idaho again. Woohoo! I told my husband I live half in Idaho and half in Texas, seems like now. E95. So this one, just going to go along those areas that we already put in. This is very tiny, delicate work. If you want to get that very in-depth, you have to really take your time because these little guys are so tiny. Their little pieces are tiny.
She was asking for how long.
How long this time? I'll be gone. I don't fly home until the 24th of May. It's about 2 weeks. There we go. Oh, this is really pretty. Thanks for sharing her, Dale. I told Dale he could have all day, all night Saturday with me. I won't allow any interruptions. So we're going to spend lots of time together this weekend. Okay, so this one is E93. This is the one that we're going to kind of go around the outside and then leave the center part for the last color to kind of get that translucent in there. So I'd say you can see this. I go over, like when I do it, I go over it a couple of times. I don't always touch it every time because I'm trying to keep that little line very tiny.
Say it's bad for me that you're leaving. It's good for you because I have to stamp some leather.
Oh, you have to stamp leather? He's waiting till I leave to stamp his leather for his costume because he knows I don't like it when he stamps the leather. So he's saving that for when I leave.
Taz.
Hi, Taz. How are you? We're coloring some baby dragons here. We're going to make some cards too if you want to stick around. Hope everybody's feeling okay over there on your side of the world, Taz. Okay, R30 is next. It's the last color in the combo, so this is the one where we're really going to just finish it up. Get that really pretty translucent ish color going on there on his little spikes. Because he's just a baby. They're coming together very nicely. Very meditative there. This one. Again, I'm touching the paper so lightly. So lightly. Not a lot of pressure on this at all. So there we go. We have 2 colors down, 2 color combos down, 2 to go. So what I want to do right now before I get to coloring in the little baby dragon is I'm going to use C1 and I'm going to just do this inside part of his eye because I really want to show some depth there. And then I'm going to use my C00 to go along that line and soften it a little. And then we're going to use the colorless blender to finish that out. And we just need to do that before we start on the dragon so that when we get to doing the eye, this isn't still wet. I don't want it to be wet when we get to doing that, or it'll start pulling the eyeball color into the whites of his eye. And I don't want to do that. So I'm using the colorless blender to kind of blend out that gray area. It looks like gray to me. You probably can't see it that well, but if I hold it up, you might be able to see it a little better. There's just a little bit of that gray in the corner of his eye. Doesn't seem like much now, but it really does make a difference later. Ow, I got a cramp in my foot. I think the meds are working for Jack. He had a rough evening, but he's sleeping now. Poor little guy. Okay. So my next colors, I put them in the stand backwards. So I gotta do them again. So this is gonna be our dragon color. BG18, BG13, then we're gonna jump to BG32, and then YG41. Now I know YG41 sounds a little strange with all of these, but it's gonna make it look super cool. Yeah, I think he's in pain. So I dragged him up so he could get some rest. Yeah, he had a really tough night. When I got home, he was really whining a lot. So I gave him more meds, and now he's asleep. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do these inside parts of the wings. So we are going to have to hold our pen upright and get really tiny lines. So make sure you don't hold it like this, because then you can't get, like, you know, teeny tiny little lines. So here we go. Ready? So at the bottom of each little wing, this takes some practice. So if you don't get it right away, just don't get frustrated. Just keep trying until you can really use just the tip of that marker. It's very hard to do, but you guys can do it. I know you can. And don't worry, because we're going to actually color this baby dragon's body in this color. So if you happen to touch it too far and you get into the body, no worries. We'll just blend it out with the lighter colors. And also, if you get it out here outside the lines, we're going to cut this baby dragon out anyway, so we're good. All good. So I'm going to do just these wings first. I want to get them done first. So I'm going to go with BG13 next. And I'm not going to put a whole lot of that in there. And I am going to come in, I'm going to skip a color on the wings because they're so tiny. If this is too tiny for you, then just choose either the darkest color or whichever color you like and do them all in one color. But this is how I get the dimensions. So I'm going to skip the BG32 because there's not enough space, but I really want to get this yellow green color in there. So we're going to do it next. So now we're just going to do this blend in back and forth. Just barely touching the paper. I'm going to brush them back and forth. You see how pretty that looks? And I like that we added this YG because we put yellow under his body down here and his horns, and the yellow in this really brings that together, I think. Okay, so back to BG18. You like these colors? You'll really like playing with these color combos. This color is really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to start with his body first and his tail, and then we'll do his head last. So we're going to start up here with this darkest color behind his neck. And then we're going to put this part right here where his arm is overlapping his body. And then I'm going to do down here where his little leg is overlapping, and right here where his tail is overlapping. So we're going to put that in there. I'm going to do underneath these and along the edge of these little spikes right here. So I want them spikes to really stand out. So underneath it and down just a little bit. And then we're going to do this part that's closest to his body. I forgot this little spot right here. Okay. And then I'm going to do the part that's all the way up here in his tail. And I'm going to come down along this edge right here. Because this part is overlapping that yellow, so really want a dark line along here. I've colored these baby dragons so many times already, so I already know exactly where I like to put the darkest areas. So once you get a little bit more familiar with them, I'm going to come up a little bit there. You'll know exactly where you want to put them as well. So BG13 is next. This one starts moving into the blue-green from just blue. I'm going to be pulling from there and extending out a little bit. Come down his little body. A little more up on his leg. My hair's falling out of this hair clip. I have it in, it's tickling my back of my neck. Okay, so this part where he's sitting, I definitely want some color in there. A little bit from his neck right here. So we're pulling away from the neck. Right here in between his spikes. This is the last color for that part right there because it's just too small and I want it to be dark. The underside of his wing, along that area. A little bit in his leg. And then we're going to start doing his tail color. So I'm going to move it a little bit. Really blending that real harsh color between that and this lighter color. So just going along there as long as the paper stays wet. You can do it in sections. There we go. And then we got to do up here where his tail comes down. So there we go. That's two colors. Now BG32, I'm going to use that more as my true color, and then I'm going to use the last one as more of my highlight. So we're going to use this one a little bit more liberally. So just shaping out his body there. We're going to put all our outlines on there because this is our true color. I've done these baby dragons a lot, but I haven't used this color combo, so we're going to have to play with it. If we have to go back in with some dark, we can. But for now, we finish that little leg that's hiding back there. I think I'm going to turn this all the way around upside down. So I can pull the color up into his tail. It's a little bit easier for me tonight to go in that direction with it upside down. So now I'm just going to go over it again, but only over it where that line is to kind of smooth out that line a bit. You see how well that starts working? Smooth that little line right there. There we go. So that looks a lot more smooth in there. Now I'm going to come down from the tail. Kind of really get that in there. And then I'm also going to go here on this tuck side. Okay, now y'all ready for this? Because this color is really going to change this baby dragon. Here we go. YG41. It's going to be the fun part. Okay, you ready? This is going to be back and forth. Oh my goodness. Look at how cute that is. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm just barely touching on some of these last colors just to kind of get that yellow green in there. Some back and forth on this one. Here we go. Isn't that color so pretty? You love it? I love it too. Okay, we're going to go along this line to smooth that transition. There we go. A little bit here to kind of smooth out that transition as well. I'm going to touch just this little leg back here. Not that it's really going to make a whole lot of difference, but oh my gosh, doesn't this just make this little guy pop off the page? So cute. I just love it. And you think you might buy them too? They're so stinking cute. Yes, they are. I'm so glad you like them. I drew these baby dragons. They were my first release, my first set that was released with Sweet Sentiment. So I'm super proud of them. And Angela, you popped in here. How are you doing? I did not place that order yet, so whenever you want to get together on that. And also PM me about Sunday. Yes, I did. These are mine. Oh, you love the colors? Yay! Okay, so we're popping back with BG18. Ooh, did I get something in the mail? I love it. What is it?
One from Stamp It Up, and now they're from Picket Fence.
Oh, that's my free stuff. That's my Stampin' Up! Free stuff from the party. And I won a drawing on Picket Fence. On Instagram, I won a $25 gift card, so I ordered it. It's your favorite stamp set? Oh, yay! You'll ping me in the morning? All right, about Sunday fun. I'm excited. Okay, so BG18. Now we're going to do the baby dragon's head. So I definitely want some darkness underneath these little scales here. And then of course underneath his little horn. And here. Just like that. Stampin' Up! Yeah, I did a party with Glenda and I got free stuff. So that's my free stuff. I'm going to put a little bit up here, but not too much. And then behind there. So that works out really good. And then I don't want to do too much. Like I usually do around the eyes and stuff, but not with this darkest color. So I am going to try to touch really lightly under his chin and up this side, because this will be more shadowed than the rest of it. The AU Wisteria Tree. Is that Stampin' Up one? I got, I know I ordered like this Horizon stamp and die set from them with my free stuff, because I thought it would build really good backgrounds. BG13. So this, I'm just going to finish this little piece off back here. And then coming around. And then I want to do this one to leave some depth around his eye. So again, not touching the paper very heavily at all, but going around his eye. Stampin' Up Wisteria Tree. I have seen it. They had some pretty good sets this time, like background sets and such. I kind of liked a few of them. Okay, so we have to smooth out that line because that's way too dark right here. So I'm just going over it a couple of times to kind of soften that a little bit, but we'll do that a little bit more with the next color. So again, just keep going. Now this eye, I want to just go underneath it like this, so we can just give some depth down in there. Their in colors are pretty too. I didn't notice their in color. I haven't seen the catalog. I just searched online, so I haven't really seen the catalog yet. Okay, so we're just following where we put those lines already. And then I think I'm going to actually touch his little nostrils too, just because that'll help them stand out when we get to add the other color. Now look at how different that color looks like from this color. So he would be cute blue too, but I just love him with that YG thrown in there. Okay, BG32 is kind of our true color, so that's the one that we're going to use more liberally. So I'm going to just go around, and I'm going to do his little mouth here. I am going to touch the same area that I put around there, and I'm going to go all the way around his eye. And then I'm going to pull from this on the top of his head. And we'll put some green in there too when we get to it. Okay, so now we have most of him filled in, but not all the way. So it's time for the Wow Factor color. And that's the YG41. And oh my goodness, I'm so excited, I can't wait. Here we go. Just smoothing this color out, so I'm hitting it a few times because I really want to smooth that out. Oops, I'm almost off the screen. I have so much stuff on my desk preparing for these other cards. That was easy for me to go off the screen. So we're just filling in the rest of this with the YG. So kind of a little bit of this back and forth. Oh my goodness. Isn't he just this cutest stinking little guy? Okay. So now you know why we did the white part of his eye before, because if I would touch that area with this color, it would have pulled it into the eye. So we needed to let that dry, which is why we did the body before we did the head. Okay, so now all we have are the eyes left. So I was thinking I need to bring in a little bit more of that blue again. So I was thinking blue eyes. So I'm going to do B99, B97, and I hope that doesn't mess it up because it's just so super cute. B95, 93, but here's what we're going to do, and G00. If for some reason this blue is too blue, we'll just throw that YG41 in there and fix it. So I have a solution for just in case. Okay, so I think we need a little pupil first. So let me get my multiliner. Do I? And what I'm going to do with my multiliner is I'm just going to go around this white area because I'm going to leave that as the little white in his eye. But I just want to make this black part just a little bit deeper. So I'm just going to go around that with my multiliner like that. Kind of makes those eyes look a little funny, but it'll be alright. So this is my B99. We're not going to use a lot of this. But I'm going to go along the bottom of his eye right here. And around this side. And this you have to really touch lightly so you don't go outside of the lines. So you have to be really, really tiny little lines. I'm going to do the same thing with this part over here. No worries though, we can always fix it, and it's always paper, so we can just color it again if we need to. But we got it. Okay, so with this one, I actually want to put some little lines in here. So I'm going to do these really, really lightly. Not going the same, I don't do them all the same length. It'll look a little funny in the beginning. There we go. He's so adorable. You like him? I like him too. He's super cute. Okay, so B97 is going to be next. This one's still fairly dark. So this is the one where I'm going to go around this area on his eye just a little to make it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to go around the outside just a teeny tiny bit. And then I'm going to do a few of these little lines going up. And I'm going to extend out these ones. Just a little bit further. It looks really dark and it's kind of like, eek! But it'll be okay in the end. This one in the back is a little bit harder to do because it's so tiny. But as long as you're close, you're good. I think we need something right here. There we go. Alright, so next color is B95. And this one, we're going to go around. This time we're making a much thicker line, kind of starting to fill in that color. We're going to go around this inside part. We're leaving a big gap of no color right there because we have 2 more colors to go. Same thing with this one. So this one starts to really fill in that back eye almost all the way. Okay, and our B93 is next. So we're going to finish the back of that eye with this B93. And then we're going to come over here and we're just going to fill in the rest of this little eye right here. So it looks kind of solid. I'm going to come back. I'm going to go backwards a step to B95 because I want to darken this a little bit more. I want them to really be deep blue eyes. So there we go. And now I'm going to hit it with that magic color, which is G00, which is this one. And this is the one where I'm going to do a little bit on the side, and I'm going to start going around in this little horseshoe type. And make that really pop right there. And then I'm going to do it over here. I'm doing it pretty small. And look at that. It really starts to shine. Hi, Natalie. But we need to smooth this out. So I'm going to go down just a little bit lower with this green marker. There we go. He's so cute. So cute, so cute. Now I'm going to go back in. I'm going to go backwards one step with the B93. And I'm going to put it just along this area right here to kind of smooth that out. Look at how cute that is. They look so good. Okay. One more time with the G00, and then we'll decide if we need to put any more lines in there. This time I'm doing it extremely light, like a very tiny line with this G00. And you got to do it, and then you got to wait just a second and let it magically do its like thing. So it looks amazing in person. Hold on, let me hold it up close so you can really see it. You see that? So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and put those lines back in there because you kind of can't see them that well. So I'm going to go in with 95. And I'm just going to pull these lines out just a little bit further because I think they kind of got washed away. And then coming from the bottom, we're going to put those back in. And you really just go back and forth until you get exactly what you want. So I like that a lot better. I think if we want to make it really pop though, I mean, it's cute and it looks good, but if you want it to really pop, let's go in with the 97 again and just go around the outside. Deep in that outside part of the eye and around where the white spot is. And that just really starts to make it pop a little bit more. And you can't do that without softening it just on the eye. Yeah, the eyes take some practice for sure. So I'm going over exactly where I put that darkest color just a second ago and just softening that a little bit. And they just make those eyeballs pop. I just love it so much. And then it'll really be even more when we put the, when we use the white in his little eye. Look. So cute. His little eyes look so sweet. He looks really cute. So let's cut him out. How are you doing, Julie? How's your baby dragon coming along? Is it coming along really good? I bet it's wonderful. Okay, I gotta fussy cut him out real quick. So just hold tight. I've done a lot of fussy cutting on these little dragons, so I'm pretty good at it now. We just got to get him ready for his background. Because once I get him cut out, we'll start working on the backgrounds. And the cards, the other cards. So baby dragon first. We colored him up a little bit. I like to cut off the excess pieces of paper so I don't have these wings hanging out. And it makes it a lot easier to fussy cut it. You could try that if you don't like fussy cutting. Try cutting off the excess. Yay! Okay, yeah, I want to see. I'm super excited. Alright, so these, it's a little bit, so if you get the baby dragons, don't forget the baby dragon dies because it makes this so much easier. But we didn't have any in the beginning, so I had to cut them out every single time I did them, so I've cut them out a bunch of times. But if you get the baby dragons, you should get the dies. It makes it a lot easier on all these little places. And trust me, the little one with the big wings, he takes a lot of fussy cutting. I even made ATC cards with these cute little dragons, and I had to fussy cut them all too. I liked them though. They came out pretty good. I think we did winged things. ATC was winged things. And so I did mine with the dragons. Because, you know, I love my baby dragons. I'm a huge dragon fan, too. Dragons, dinosaurs, and frogs. I like frogs, too. I have a frog tattoo. I do not have a dragon tattoo, although I should do this one as a tattoo because it's so adorable. Okay, we're almost done. Hey, no scratching. I don't want to put the cone on Jack, but I gotta have him not scratching himself. Alright, almost done. Just gonna do this little part of his tail. And there he is, in all his happiness, right there. Baby dragon. Super cute. Okay. I need to name them. I do. They're so cute. I should name them. Baby dragon 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just kidding. Okay. I embossed on this one card, and I got embossing powder all over my desk. Okay, so we have to move out just a little bit. All right, there we go. So we have this cute little baby dragon, and then we're gonna put him with these colors right here. Oh, so cute. Okay. Oh, we forgot to color the happy birthday. We have to color the happy birthday. All right. So here we go. Let's go back to the markers and color the happy birthday. All right. So I think we will make it 3-tone. And we're going to use all the colors again that we used. The yellow, the peachy color, and then the teal color, or the yellow, green, blue, green, whatever color you want to call this baby dragon. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to start at the top. There you go. Anyway, I'll put this back up here so you can see. YR31. And I think you'll be able to tell what I'm doing on this one. So I'm just going to do it kind of in a rainbow-ish manner here. So I'm just going along the top of this little birthday word. And then I'm going to go with Y13. And I'm just going to go a little bit further than where we had this one. I'm going to touch this. You guys probably did this when you were... Did you guys do this when you were a kid? I did. I used to write letters to my friends in school, and then I would do this cute little shadow. You think I need to make them in a bigger size? Oh, so I need adolescent or adult baby or adult dragons instead of baby dragons. Teen dragons. Okay, this is going to be a really light color, so it's going to be hard to see it all. But we're going to put it on there anyway because it will help with the transition. I actually used, I actually stamped with Versa Fine because I wanted this to be so black. I wanted that background to be really, really deep black, and it's bleeding a little, so I need to be careful with that. I missed the top of this one, and I want it to be a little more yellow, so I just went back in with Y13. And now I'm going to switch to the R colors, but I'm going to go backwards. What sizes are your two papers? Okay, so these, one of them, this one for the cardstock, when I fold it, it's going to be the standard A2 size card. And then I hadn't decided whether both of these are A2 size card with it already scored right here. But I couldn't decide which one I wanted to matte. I was going to wait until we did the oxide first, and then I'll cut it down. Okay, so this is the R30. I'm going a little bit backwards on the numbers because this is the lighter color up here. And when I get to the E97, it'll go into the BG18. So that is my reason. That is my story, and I'm sticking to it. So this is really just fading into the color. The same colors as the dragon. So you know the A2 size, right? 5.5 by 4.25. Okay. So I don't usually color light to dark, so kind of winging this a little bit. So we may have to go back in with the light color again and blend it together a little bit more, but I think we're going to wait until the very end of this combo to do that, because then we can just blend all of them with that same R30. Okay, so now I'm going to E95, and so I'm just walking these colors backwards. This one's really close, so I don't need a whole lot of that one because I already have the last one. It just kind of looks like a rainbow going across. And then this one is the E97. So it's going to be significantly darker, which is fine because it will blend with the BG18. Sometimes I would start again from the bottom and work my way up, but since I want these dark colors to meet, it just has to be done this way. But right when I get done, this is the R30, and what I'm going to do is just blend that all together like this. Just kind of touching that one more time with this to blend those two colors together, so I get a little bit of a smoother look. Not too heavily, very lightly. I picked up a little black, so I had to clean that pen off. So there we go. You see how that's all coming together? So now we're going to start with the BG18, which is going to be pretty dark. But that's okay. We'll blend. takes a little bit of work, but it has such a beautiful effect when it's done. If you go up too far on one or not far enough, you can just blend later. Go back with the other colors and blend in again. Like this one we could come back with here with this 97 to kind of blend between these two. Just to make that a little more smooth. But if we do that, we're probably going to have to hit it with the 30 again. But we'll see. There we go. That made it much more pretty. Here's BG13. So I'm pretty much using all the colors I used on the baby dragons. Now I can start pulling because I'm going dark to light again. So I'm going to start pulling from the darkest color to the light area. There we go. You might have to go down just a little bit further because we have this really big swoopy thing going on here. There we go. What do you guys think so far? That birthday sign looking good? Look good from your perspective? I think it's coming together nicely. There we go. We got two more colors, so we're gonna have to fill this in with the last two colors. So we gotta get her done. Here's BG32. So pretty. So neat. Liking how this came out. This is exactly how I had hoped it would come out. So I'm pretty happy with it right now. The last color is the YG41. That's the one that makes it look a little more yellow green. And we're just going to finish this off with that color. So just make sure we're blending. We're really going to see that yellow green at the bottom. There we go. What do you think? Just a little trick to do, but it just makes such a big impact when it's on the card, and I'm excited about that. Okay. So we only colored one baby dragon, but we have this really super sign. Look how good they look together. It's so perfect. So the next step we're going to do, and I think I have some washi tape on my desk I'm going to use for this. Okay. So I wanted to do this stencil, which set was the happy birthday. I want to say cake is life. This one. It's from this Cake is Life. And it has the die that cut it out too. So that's how I cut that out, which is perfect. Okay, so I'm going to move those over to my left. And what I thought I would do, let me show you what I envisioned before I finish it. You're welcome. Is I was thinking I would put this, like the little circle from this manly mandala, like right there. And then I was going to put the baby dragon down here, like the word. But I wanted to do this. I think maybe I'm going to need to come down a little bit more on this mandala, because I really want it to kind of come all the way down. So maybe like this. Right there. So we're going to put this mandala on here, and then we're going to color it with those two oxides, and then when we put this card together, we'll put the birthday on top and the little baby dragon on there. So that's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. Tee hee hee. Okay, so here we go. Nope, can't do that. Let's flip it over and do it like this. Don't pay attention to what's on the back. I have to reuse my paper. I didn't realize it had something on the back. Alright, so there we go. Okay, there we go. Alright, so it's a little bit easier to do that way. That way it stays stuck. So I am going to tape this just a little bit to my table right here so it doesn't move around too much. But I also wanted the paper to be stuck to the stencil. Alright, so that should be good. That should hold it still. We have two colors that I chose to do. We have Salvaged Petunia. That's this one. I got the brush to go with it. I think I need to scoot out just a little bit more so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. There we go. Alright, and then I have Broken China. So I'll put them over here so you guys can see them. So Broken China and Salvaged Petunia. So Broken China is darker. That's this one. So what I thought was we would come in with the darkest color and then get lighter as we came out here. But I'm a little bit concerned that we might get too far and go over onto this paper. So I'm just going to stick another piece of paper in there to keep it from going over. So let me show you what I mean by that. Which set is the happy birthday from? I think we answered that one. Oh, yep, thanks. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just lightly put this underneath there, or just right on the edge, because if I go over, I don't want to go all the way over. You know, I don't want to color that color on there, so I'm going to take this down as well. Right here. Because I only want to see this design. I don't want to see anything else on my paper. So I'm going to be really careful with that. So Broken China first. I'm going to put a whole bunch of ink on this. And then I'm going to come from this side and really use that color pretty deep in there. I'm not going to put any more ink on it. I want it to be really dark from here, but I want it to kind of fade out. So I'm going to press a whole lot lighter as I get out here. So very, very hard pressure, deep on the inside, and then lighter as I come out. So now I'm going to do this Savaged Petunia, which is much lighter than this one. And I'm just going to very lightly brush. I want to hold this still. Very lightly brush. So this is going to go from really dark to really light. That was my envision right there. So really lightly touching. So we have to go over it a few times because we want to make sure that we get that color in there, but we want to do it really light. Kind of soften the tone here. So it's two different colors. And then I'm going to come back in real quick with the Broken China just right in here and really deepen that up a little bit. So I want this to really be a difference. Just kind of touch along here to smooth that out. Give us a really pretty smooth thing. And now it's time to take it apart, and I hope it works. Okay. So we're taking this off of there. So now we don't have any color over here, which is exactly what I wanted. And then we're going to start lifting our stencil. So we're going to save these because we're going to do some more color in it with different mediums, and we need to use our washi tape. So I'm going to try to save my pieces of washi tape. I didn't use too much of this. I usually, okay, here we go. You ready? Here we go. Here's the ah. Here we go. Look at how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. Hey honey, I thought you were going to wash these stencils for me. He said he would help me before I decided to do all these different things. Okay. So look at that. Isn't that pretty?
Just waiting for you to say something.
Okay. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I just love it. Okay, so I'm going to close Broken China. I'm going to close Savage Petunia. I'm going to put those aside. I'm going to put my brushes in the whole thingy. Okay. I'm going to take a drink and I'm going to clean this off so I don't get it on my stuff. So here we go. Ready? Now we'll be ready for the next card. Okay. So here we go. I think I may have to cut this down. I think I'm going to fold both of these card bases so I can decide which one I like better and which direction. So you like that? Yeah, I love this. Okay, so does it look better on the light color or on the dark? Oh, light color it is. There was no question about that. So what we're going to do is cut this down just a tad because I think it's bigger than I wanted it to be. So I want it to be 4. Oh, I don't want to cut that much off. So I'm going to have to cut a little from each side because I really wanted to keep that pretty design right there. So there we go. So now it's 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to make this as my background piece. I guess I can move it down a little. Not that I think you can see the measurements anyway. But I want to put just like an 1/8 inch. Thank you, honey. So I'm cutting between the 4 and 4.5, and then between the 5 1/4 and 5 1/2. And this is going to give me a very thin but beautiful mat for this card. So here we go. See, perfect. Give us just a little bit of mat there. And then I'm going to save this piece because I think I'm going to use this on another one of our cards. Maybe. If we need it. And then this is going to go on top of here. Ooh, I just love this blue. It's so pretty. So before we move on, we have to put our insert in here. Did I take enough out for that? There we go. I already have pre-cut inserts, so I just got to pull one out. We're going to get our trusty Barely Art Blue because I love this stuff. I'm going to put a card on the inside so you can write on it. I always do that if my card is not white. So we're going to put this on the inside. Oh, it's starting to whine. Okay. I got them off just a little, so there we go. It works better if you want to flatten out that glue by turning it upside down. That's the way I like to do it. Okay, So now we have this on the inside, this on the outside. I'm going to actually stick these together before I put them on the thing. Look at that. Nobody's going to know there's writing on the back of this card. Sometimes I print like a whole bunch of copies of something and then I don't need it, so because I already colored it in 1 or 2 colors, so I just reuse the paper because, you know, who can waste awesome Sweet Sentiment paper? So I'm standing up. Once I have it exactly where I want it to be, I'm going to press it with my espresso on the back just to adhere it. Basically, I didn't want to put my espresso over top of the oxides because it's so smooth and I didn't want to smear anything or mess anything up. I have one side that didn't stick down too well. Maybe I didn't get enough glue on there, but it looks okay now. And then we're going to put this on the outside of our card. This is going to be such a pretty card. I love these blue colors. They came together very nicely. All right. I have to stand up so I don't mess it up. So much easier to line it up if you stand up. Stand up. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing. Turn it over. Press it down. Make sure we get it on there real good. And now, beautiful. And now we have to add our, I think our baby dragon will go right here. So cute. And I think we'll pop up the happy birthday. Maybe right there. So cute. I'm super happy with how he came out. Let's put him on there. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to press him down. I have these sweet pops. I'm going to put them on there. Sometimes these slippery little things don't want to come off of there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at that. My trash can was covered. Good night, Mama. You're going to miss the next one. Because we're going to do a couple more cards now. But I think we need some bling on here. So it's going to wear me out if I don't have any bling on here. I think stars might be cute. What do you think? Hey. Maybe I'll put them right here. What do you think? We only need 3. So we'll put one up here. That would be super cute. Oh, I'm so glad you like it. I think I'm going to put these on here, though. Let's just put them on there. Sometimes I try not to think too hard on it. Once you stick it down, it's stuck and there's nothing you can do about it. So I just try not to think about it and just do it. Then I don't have to worry about it. Especially if I'm thinking too hard. If I really am not sure and I'm not sure and I'm debating for a long time, I'll just stick it down because, you know, and then I'm just pressing them down with my espresso because that helps like adhere them a little bit. And there we go. So there's our baby dragon card. Isn't that cute? I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, next one. Let's move on. We got more cards to make. More cards, more cards. Okay, let's do the next one. We'll do with this one. Oh, thanks. I'm so glad you like it. Okay, so this one we're gonna do oxide as well. So I didn't want to. I want to do the oxide first, and then we're gonna do paste on the next two, or some kind of pasty stuff. So it'll be fun. Okay. So these are the girls that we did last night. I need to cut my paper to be my mat. Hold on. Hold please for one momento. I think we could use that to mat as well. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and color this one. So what I did, so here you go. This is what I did. So I took the numbers from the balloon monkey and all of them, every single one of them, and I stuck them on my Misty. You okay, baby? Yeah. And I stuck them on my Misty like this, all over the place. Just randomly on there. And then I put this down and stamped some off. Some of them were off the card, like the 8 and the 3 and the 0, and the rest of them were on the card. And then when I stamped it with Versamark so that I could emboss it because I wanted to keep that deep dark black color right there. So now we're going to oxide over top of this, and it's going to keep that really deep black color. So I think what we're going to do on this one, since we don't have a stencil on top of it, is, oh my gosh, there's another one, is we're going to spray it a little bit with the Pixie spray. I don't know if you guys know what this is, but it's called Pixie spray. It's like a low tack repositionable adhesive for stencils, but it works pretty good if you want to stick this to your desk too. So I'm just spraying just a little bit on the back. It's kind of wet and stuff, and then I'm going to lay it on my desk because I'll be able to clean it off. Hopefully it won't stick too hard, but look, it stuck. What comes off, that sticks, and it'll just help to adhere it to the card too, so it's totally fine. Okay. All right, so for this one, I chose cracked pistachio because I thought that since we used a little bit of green here and a little bit of green here, that it would look nice having the cracked pistachio in the background, and I just didn't want these to be plain. So we're actually going to color the whole background with this cracked pistachio. So here we go. So when you do it, go off of the paper and then right onto the paper. So it doesn't have to be real dark. Off the paper, onto the paper. And then you won't have those big lines in your oxide because you're coming from off the paper. Either that, or you want to touch a different paper with your brush, like doing this to get that really harsh color off, and then color.
The excess ink off.
Yeah, the excess ink. So it's just kind of your choice. I like doing mine off the page and then onto the page when I'm doing it in this particular design. And you have to keep your pressure about the same too, or you'll have darker and lighter spots. So a little bit of practice. Once you figure it out, you'll have it. So this is kind of doing the whole thing. I'm just doing the whole background in this color. Just kind of going over it again to make sure I got it, you know, pretty solid. And you see that Pixie spray held it really good on my desk, so that was exciting. There are a few options you can do. We are not going to do them with this one, but you can spray it with water, or you can do whatever you want with it. It's your choice. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a very soft, I have these really soft napkins, and what I'm going to do is wipe over where I embossed. So you'll be able to see, hopefully, how shiny that will be. So can you see the difference between these and that one? I'll hold it up close so you can see it. So this one, I wiped off all the excess, this one here, and these I did not. So they're a little more dull. So we're going to go ahead and do it again on all of them. So you might see them kind of pop up. Can you see that, honey? Mm-hmm. You can see how different they are. You can see it. So this is, if we just stamped it, you wouldn't be able to do this step. But because I embossed it, it will resist the color. So you can go in there and wipe it off. So your numbers will really pop. And I wanted to show you that. So you can definitely see the ones I wiped off and the ones I didn't. I wanted you to see that embossing technique to really show that. So if you ever wanted to make those numbers really stand out, but you still wanted to oxide the background, you would know how to do that. Just emboss it first. And then it'll resist. And then it'll stay dark for you. And now they really pop out the way that I wanted them to. So now we have to, and then your napkin is oh so good on spraying your desk and cleaning that off as well. Multi-purpose napkins right here, I tell you. Okay. Now that I have that wiped off, yeah, you're welcome. You sure can do that. I mean, there's so many things you can do, and you just have to play around with them till you figure it out. Figure out all the different stuff, but it helps when somebody tells you. Okay, so back to our trusty glue, because we need an insert, because this background is not white. This card base is not white. So we need a white card in there so we can write a note to whoever we send it to. So now we're going to put this on the card, but I'm going to have to cut it down a little bit. I like to make it a little bigger when I'm actually doing my card, just in case I mess something up. I have extra room. So we're going to trim this down just a little bit so we'll be able to put it on this card. Not too much, but just a little bit. Also, if you end up getting it too dark on the edges, you can do this. But you have to be careful when you make it a little bit bigger, because sometimes I'll do like a shadow or like a vignette effect, but then I have to cut my paper down and then I've messed it up. So you have to be really cautious when you do it to be thinking about that when you're actually finishing up your card. Okay, so it's sticky on the back because I put the Pixie spray, but I think it's going to be more sticky than I want. I mean, not as sticky as I want, is what I wanted to say. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it in this direction. So I'm going to put my glue on there, right over top of that Pixie spray to give it a more solid hold. I'm gonna stand up because that makes it easier for me. And I want to get that on there straight. Okay. Now that I kind of have that on there, I'm going to flip it over and rub it on. To make sure I get really good adhered on there, really good. And then, look, I put the 29 right in the middle, kind of, because I wanted to put this. It's all just numbers. Happy 29th birthday. Then we're going to put this little girl right here. And we're going to put this little girl up here. And look at how cute that looks with all the numbers in the background. It kind of goes perfect with the year 29 because all the numbers are everywhere. And I really like that. Yeah, that just wasn't going to work out for me tonight. I am going to do one more little thing before I stick them down. And then I'm going to use the X-Acto knife to cut these little white spots out because they bug me just a little bit. So right here. I mean, most people don't notice them, but I'm just so OCD on it, maybe is a good word. So I'm just cutting this little sliver out. That's a personal preference. You do not have to do that on yours. It's just something that I like to do. So there's that one. And then there's a little one on here. Right here. That I'm going to cut out. Kind of seems a little crazy, but I meant to do this before we started. I forgot. Super duper cute. There we go. Okay. Now I'm much happier with that. I think because there's so much writing on here, I'm going to pop up these two girls, but I'm going to put this, the sentiment, right straight on the background. Yeah. I know, I got it from her. She started pointing it out, and now I just can't. She did it to me. I just can't unsee it. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna put this right here. I'm gonna press it with my espresso. And then I'm gonna pop up my two girls. With my Sweet Pups, I just have them in a little jar right here. Makes it easier. I'm going to cut them with my tape scissors. You can tear them. It's easier to cut with my scissors. It bugs you too. Does it bug you too? Just, she points it out, and I did it on one card, and I saved that card for so long so I would never forget. Oh, they're gonna look so cute popped up. I think popped up was the right decision. I know it sounds like I like my decisions a lot of the times, but sometimes I do it and I don't like them. So I'm just super happy these ones are working out. You can't do everything perfect all the time. So sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But tonight we got a good thing going. We're on a roll. We have a baby dragon card. We have these sweet birthday girls. They're about to be on their card. See, I told you yesterday when we colored it that we that this is what I wanted to do with it. So we I wanted them to be on the same card. That's why we did them in the same colors, which worked out perfectly for the green, the cracked pistachio that worked really well with it. I'm going to put one more right here, and then I'm going to peel off and stick them down. And then of course we're going to have to put some bling in there. You know, we just can't do it without bling. She's going to go right here saying, voila, here's your cake. And she's going to go up in the corner and say, here's your ice cream. I think we still have cake and ice cream left over from yesterday, so I might have cake and ice cream when I'm done too. Here we go. It helps me to use these tweezers so I can see where I'm placing these. I just really like these tweezers. Okay, super cute. Let me find some enamel dots because I don't want to put hearts or stars. So I'm going to find some enamel dots real quick. Oh, these might be good. Nope, that's purple. I don't need purple. One moment, and I will find the right ones. Because I have all the ones we were selling in the shop. Oh, maybe. I might have to go with white. White might be perfect. Or, this one's kind of pretty too. I might let you guys pick what you think. Anybody chiming in yet? Nope. With their preferences. Alright, these are what they're gonna be. So it's either gonna be white, the white ones from this, or the blue, or this blue. What do you think? Should we use this one? Like vanilla? Like this one? I don't know. Which one? I kind of like the white, but I kind of like the blue. I think the blue's gonna, the little white one. I think I like the blue. The white is cute, but I think the white's gonna draw attention to the outline of the girl, and I don't really want that, so I think the blue is gonna be better. Oh, you like that blue? I like this blue. I think I'm gonna do this one. Blue, blue, blue. Like these, but very small, I think. Like maybe we'll do, and maybe the lighter ones. See, these are darker. I like the lighter ones. So let's do, unfortunately, I think I used all the little light ones. So like here. Here. I don't know. Randomness. Look how cute these are. It's going to be so great. I'm super happy. And then we need two more because we got to have an odd number and we need another one down here.
I need balloon embellishments. That would look good.
Yes. Look. What do you think? No? You don't like it? Alright, maybe we'll throw a couple white ones in there too. Why not? Let's play around. Alright, here we go. Ready? Maybe up here. The dark ones are good, but not all together. Is that too much? I don't think we can take them off. We'll see. Hold on, hold on. Voila! Perfecto. Now we can put another white one on there. There. Ah, that's 8. We need one less.
Just have one more white.
One more white? You think we need one more white, baby? Maybe we'll do it like... I don't know. What do you think? Here? Where, Dale? Over here?
Over the it.
Over the it? Like here?
Yeah.
Alright. That was Dale said over the it. There we go. Now we got this one done. Super cute. But not all together. Yeah, I like them. I think it's cute. I like it. I'm happy. Okay, but now we have 2. Wah, wah. All right, moving on. Ready for the next one? You do like the white? I like the white more than I thought I was going to as well. But I do like the blue too. Just not sure. But like I said, just stick it down because otherwise we could be debating over it all night. Just got to do it. Just do it. All right. Oh my goodness. These are going to be so much fun. We're going to play with some new stuff tonight. I am excited. Okay, so this is Nouveau Paste. Glacier Paste. Oops. And I paid $7.99 for it. Alright, so here we go. This is what we're going to do now. We're going to do this little guy right here, and I couldn't decide whether I wanted to use the peach or the pink, because I don't know. I like them both.
He needs to go on the pink.
He needs to go on the pink?
Yep.
Yeah. Alright. Alright. Okay, so what I thought we would do is, I told you. We're going to put him aside. And then I thought we'd use this paste. Pink. Yep. Dale said pink too, so I went with pink. So I thought I would use this paste. Yeah, we're just going to roll with it. You ready? Oh, look, it's never been opened. Brand new. So I think because we're going to be using paste, I want to do this. I really want to center this. I really want to center the. I'm centering this main star in the middle of my card.
Offset.
No. This is going to go down here. And this is going to go up here. So I want that star to stick out. I know what I'm doing, man. You agree? Yep. See? They agree with me. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is spray Pixie spray on the back of this paper so it'll hold it still. Okay. Step 1. The second thing we're going to do, since we're going to be putting this on here, is we're going to tape it down with this washi tape I had earlier. Just using it again. Have you guys used the paste before? Have you used paste before? So you need a little spatula of some sort. I decided to use this one. Hey, can you grab me some napkins? Because I'm going to need them. Okay, now, challenging part. Oh, you've never used paste before? Wait till you see this. This is awesome. And on your Tim Holtz mat, you can use it. Rinska, I got this Nuvo paste from Jane. I've used paste before, but not this one. So yeah, how do you get it open? Just kidding. So I'm gonna use my X-Acto knife and just cut it open like this. I just need it enough to get a hold of it. Here's my tweezers. Long time ago. So, look at this. It's really cool. It's fun to play with, but it makes a mess. So I had my husband agree to clean off my my stencils. Yeah. I asked him if he would help me by cleaning off my stencils when I finished, so they wouldn't be sitting there. Clearly, they put this cover on really good, because let me tell you, I've had some where I've opened them up and the paste was all dry. So I think they specifically made that on there very good so it wouldn't dry out. And it didn't. It's in good shape. Okay, so here's what we do. First, we got to mix it up. You always got to mix it up when you first get it, because it's just been sitting there for a while. You don't know how long it's been on the shelf, so it will flow more smooth if you mix it up before you use it. And once it feels like it's pretty smooth, then you just take it. You just take some, and you just start putting it over top of your stencil like this. And it doesn't need to be real thick. So you just have to keep going over it. It's a little on the messy side. This is not a Jamie thing, because she doesn't like it all messy. And we might not be able to completely finish this card because it will take a while for this to dry, but we might try, and I might try and use the heating tool to dry it, because it's not going to be too thick.
Yeah.
What? It's crazy. It looks like half a bottle. It's not. Look how much is still in there. I didn't even hardly use that much. Plus, I'm going to put some back in the jar. I just want to get it all over here first. And then I'll be picking it back up and putting it back in the jar like that. So you just want to get it on there. Make sure that you get all the spaces. I want to make sure I get all the spaces filled in. And then you just want to go over it smoothly. Start putting the stuff back in. Because you don't want to waste it. So I'm just picking up any of the excess and putting it back in there. But you want to make sure you don't mess up that like I just did with that. Nope. See, it's not half a bottle. Look how much is still in there. See? There's a lot left. And I could pick this up and put it back in there too. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is wipe off my brush just on a cloth, because we're going to use it for this other stuff, I think. So just wipe my tool's all clean. And I'm going to peel this off. Are you guys ready for this? Here we go. Oh my goodness. I'm excited. Here we go. Let me use my tweezers. I'm throwing away this messy stuff. You ready? Here. So there goes. Theo gets to go clean that up. So I'm going to lift this up so you can really see it. And when I hold it up, you don't want to touch it too much because it's wet. But when I hold it up, I want you to see like how thick it is. Because it's paste. See how thick that is on there? It like makes a dimensional look to it. So now we have to, I'm going to try to dry it with the heating tool, but we'll see how that goes. Now I'm going to wipe this stuff up. Because I got a full mess. Oh, look at the beautiful mess on my desk. Alright, I need another cloth to clean it up. I had Subway for dinner the other night. These are my Subway. Oh, I just stuck my hand in it. Well, that was not fun. So don't leave your project sitting right there because you'll stick your hand right in it like I just did. Which is unfortunate. This should clean all up just with water. I don't usually do it, so I wasn't 100% sure, but that worked out really good for me. Okay. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I stuck my hand in it. So disappointing. It's not too bad. I'll show it to you in a minute. But that's the paste. So when you get ready to do paste, be ready for messy work. But I thought, why not? How fun would that be? Okay. So I'm going to show you where I stuck my hand in it. Right here. I'm going to try to heat it with the heating tool to see if it'll dry it up a bit. But I think we're going to have to let this one dry and do it on Monday. So hold your ears, turn your thing down so we can heat it up. It looks like it's kind of warping the paper a little bit because it's wet. So I may want to do a little on the back too. It looks pretty cool though. Well, it looks like it's working. It's still shiny and pretty, except I stuck my hand in it. But I don't think it's dry yet. It's a little bit dry. Look how shiny and pretty it is though. Yep, it's still wet. So we're not going to be able to put that card together while it's wet. But I will show you what it was going to look like when it's dry. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking I could just throw this card together and it's not even going to be dry. Alright. So let's set that aside. Probably going to have to let that dry overnight. You like the shiny? I know you want to laugh because it's super funny that I thought that I could just dry that and I would be able to, I will show it to you again. I'll show it to you on Monday after I put it all together. After it dries over the weekend. It usually just takes one evening to dry. I think the other stuff might work a little differently, but we may have to put both of these together. So I would recommend doing this for like not a rush project. One that you can make. So what I usually do when I'm using that, yeah, no problem. You have anyone to do so. Yeah, so what I usually do is I'll get all the pastes out and I'll play around with them and make backgrounds and then later use them on cards. So maybe you can see. Can you see how thick that is? It's going to give it texture because it's thick. You'll be able to feel it, although I kind of messed it up right there, but it'll just give it personality. Maybe I should just mess it up all over the place. But I think it's going to be really cute. So we're going to cut it so it fits on this card like this. You know, I'll have to trim it down a little bit. But I think it's pretty. And then this sentiment will go here, and this little guy will go here. And then we'll probably put like some little dots or something up there. But that's the idea. So I will show it to you when this has time to dry. Here, honey, can you lay that somewhere so it can dry? Because it's not going to dry tonight. So here's our cute little guy. When I finish it up, I will show it to you next week. Look how plain and simple you could make it, plain and simple. But I like that background. I think it'll look good. I'm super excited. I went with the really light colored cake. I thought that green would look perfect with the cake. So that's why I went with that one. So when it dries up, at least you know how I did it. When it dries up, I'll finish it off. I don't know how fast this other stuff dries because, again, I've never used it. But this is called Gilding Polish. It says to create metallic and highlighted effects on any porous craft surface. Prime the sponge before using by wetting with warm soapy water. Then press out the excess water. Dip the sponge into the polish and apply in a circular motion to highlight details on or cover the area. Also to be applied by finger, cloth, roller, or even a stamp. Wash hands after using with warm. And look, here's the sponge. So can you do some warm soapy water with that so I can use it? I bought this from somebody who was selling it. They used it like once and then was gonna sell it. Look how shiny and pretty that is. Isn't that pretty? I think this one will dry faster because it won't be thick. So I thought it would be the perfect color with this guy though. Look at this. How great is that? So I decided to do a yellow background because I thought that went with the cake really well. So we'll go ahead and put that part together while hubby is warming and soaping up the little spongy for us to use. Oh, I have so much stuff on my desk. So much fun. Well, at least we get to play with some different mediums tonight, even though it takes them a while to dry. Thank you, hon. All right. So I know my husband's saying, well, if you'd have just used that stencil that I was playing around with, that idea for a stencil that I was playing around with, you would be able to finish your card tonight. But hey, you know, can't be perfect. Okay. So I thought the music notes would be really good, so that's what we're going to try and do with this one. I got to decide how I want to put them on there. So sometimes I'll put them on there like that and then put my stuff on there. I think I'm going to put this guy over here. So I want to make sure I know what I want to be filling this area over here. Okay, so that's probably what I want to do with that one. So again, I'm going to lift this up, and this time I'm going to tape them. I'm going to tape it together like this. And see if this works better. Okay, that's where I want it to be. You might like this because it has a sponge. It has a sponge, built-in sponge. That's kind of awesome. All right, washi tape it is. Okay, just making sure it's not going to move around. Okay, so this one has a sponge. Dale cleaned it all up for us, so, and I have never used this, so we're going to see how this works, what we think of this. So I'm just kind of dipping it in there because it's kind of wet now, and then we're going to see how this all plays off. It looks like we need a lot more of this on our sponge. It's pretty neat, but it's not going into it's not going into that as easy as I would like it to. So maybe I needed to, ooh, that looks like I'm getting more on there. Ooh, nice. Better. All right. These are little.
So dab it instead of.
Dab it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't really seem to be working either. I think maybe I'm going to try to mix this up. Maybe this paste needs to be mixed up. I bought it from somebody, so I don't know how old it was. But I'm going to mix it up first and see if that helps. I'm excited. This might work good. I think that sponge is just not all that giving.
Try it like you did the Nuvo paste.
I don't think that's right. I don't want to do that. I think that'll be too thick. I think now that I messed with this, see, it's coming off on the sponge a little better. That's a little better. I want to make sure I get it in all the little cracks and crevices. That's pretty neat. I mean, it's really pretty. I think I just was trying to use less of the polishing, and I just need to use more. That's really neat. The sponge is wet. I wet the sponge. I did wet the sponge. Dale went and wet the sponge for me in the sink. You can almost see it bubbling with soap because he washed it with warm soapy water because that's what the instructions said. So it might just take a little bit for it to get going because it hasn't been used in a long time, because I'm sure this lady held on to it for like ever without using it. So I feel like it just needs to really get going. Look at that, I got a big chunk of the paste that time. Ooh, this is so pretty though, honestly. I like it. What do you think? Just want to spread it around. I don't want to waste any by leaving big chunks on there. There you go, I'm getting it now. I've never used it before, so it just takes a little bit of practice to like get how much pressure to use and how to get it to go into all those little cracks. But look, it's way working now. And I'm not pressing that hard. And just the sponge is way more wet now, which is great. see. Picking it up. I like it too. It's really pretty and like, woo-wee. It is some pretty stuff. I can't wait to take off the stencil and see how it comes out. I bet it's going to be really pretty. I have a couple other colors, like a copper color and a silver color, that I think, ooh, it'd be so pretty. She had a few of them left over. Oh, I missed one right there. It feels like it's drying pretty fast too. This one we might be able to make into a card because it feels like it's really drying rather quickly. Unlike the other stuff. Okay, I think I got all the little spots.
Go to the very top.
The very top. Oh, I missed a spot up there. Like right here. It helps if you do it in that like circular motion or whatever to get everything in there. I missed this one. A little bit thicker here. Okay. You have so much stuff you need to start using. I know, that's why I was thinking I would use this. So then you can close it up and then you can rinse your sponge out and then stick it back in the lid. See how the lid protects it? So we're going to need to clean it off before we do that. But then you close it up and it comes with its own, like, you just stick it in there. I think she didn't clean it the last time that she used it. And so I think the sponge was hard and kind of crispy feeling. And then once I got this stuff on there, it started working a little bit better. I think I might like this a lot. I may want to use this one more often. And try the copper and... Okay. So I want to take this off. And I want to take this one off. Oh, here it comes. You ready? Here we go. OMG. Ooh, look at that. Man, did that come out good. Here, baby. Ooh, I really like that. It is a little bit dimensional. Like if I hold it to the side, you might be able to tell. I mean, it's a little bit dimensional. I'll hold it up close so you guys can really see. Look, see? It's a little bit thick, but wow. The shine on that is just, oh yeah, that is really, I really like that. Oh, baby, I forgot to give you the little brush thingy. I don't know how well this is going to clean or what I'm going to need to clean this with, but we're about to find out if it'll clean up with that. Oh, yeah, look at that. Just water, soap and water. Okay, that makes it even better, right? If you can just clean that up with water, because this is just plain water in my Tim Holtz container, so if you can clean it up with water, sweet. You need me to show the name again? This stuff is really neat. Okay, so it's called Metallic Gilding Polish. It says create a metallic polished sheen and shimmering highlights on all your crafting projects. Lush pink gilding polish. I don't know. I went to this like garage sale thing and somebody was selling it and I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. I might want to play with that someday. And you guys just got to witness the someday. I wonder if it's drying. It's definitely drying faster than the other one did. Not coming off at all. Here goes the ultimate test. See? So that dried, that was way better than the other one. I like that. I really like that. Okay, let's see how close I am on here. Alright, I'm going to have to do a little trimming on that. I want to still be careful with it because I'm not sure if there's still wet areas. Here's gonna be the ultimate test. I want to cut this, but I'm gonna take off my I'm gonna take off this little cover if I can get it off. I know it comes off. Come on. There it goes. Okay, so I want to take that off because I don't want to slide this up underneath there. I just want to cut it without that. Right here. This would be a really good test to see how well it cuts. Wow, look at that. It didn't even mess up the, oh yeah, it is dry. Look at that. Awesome. That's epic. I love it. This is where I need this one to be. Alright. Wow, that dried really fast. It has some on it. Nope. It didn't. I think it's all good. Awesome. I am super happy about that. Alright, so here we go. We're going to put some glue on this. I'm super happy about that working out so good. I don't know if you could oxide over it or not. I would say if you were going to oxide over it, I would wait until, just to make sure it's really, really dry. The one on my mat. This thing. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'm going to press it with my hand just to make sure. All right, here we go. Ultimate test. Just want to make sure the glue is pressed on there. Let's go. Voila! Yay! It didn't mess it up at all. Woohoo! Alright, so we're going to finish all the cards except for the one with the paste. So you have to be careful with the paste when you use it because it won't dry as well. It'll take a long time. I don't know about that. I really like this little guy on here. I like him on there. But I feel like this is... I feel like it's just too much white. Yeah, that was fast. I'm really happy about how fast that dried. So I think what I'm going to do, because I'm not... Oh, maybe if we do it this way. Maybe I should have put the color that way. That's what I probably should have done.
Just a word of caution with using that gilding paste.
It doesn't come off the stencil?
Not that easily.
Okay. So, hubby says it's a little challenging to get the paste off the stencil.
I had to use a soft brush to kind of help get it off.
The sentiment needs to be colored or a totally different sentiment. I'm not real happy with how that one looks. So, let's try this one. Maybe we can switch it out with the one from the other side. I just think it all white is too much. Oh my gosh. This one is better. This one is better on there. Matted. That's what I was thinking too. Matted. Yeah, because I like that one better because the word cake is diagonal, but I definitely think it needs to be matted. So let's think about this. What color matting do we want to use? I've got a whole bunch of scraps over here.
Where do you stamp it on the,
Huh?
where do you stamp it on some of that yellow paper?
Like here's the purple. We could do this purple. Or green. Purple or green. Oh, I don't know if I have a lighter purple. Nope, I don't like that. Or purple, yellow, or green, or purple. I kind of don't want to go with yellow because yellow is the card base. I think the purple or green. I think I'm going to stop with purple or green because I like both the purple and the green. You guys tell me what you think. Maybe not the purple because of the pink. I think I might like the green better. I think I like the green. I think I like the green. Yep, I agree. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just, because I'm bold like this, I'm just going to glue this right on the green. I like the green. I think you guys are right. I think the green is best. Still have some washi tape on my tweezers. Hey, can you do this one too, please? Thank you. It shouldn't be too hard to get off. And this, because I don't think you're supposed to put that back in there unless you do warm soapy water first. Okay, so now I have my, and then I'm just gonna fussy cut it out. I mean, I could use the die, but I think the die would cut it on exactly the same line, so gonna have to fussy cut. But I think we'll be okay. I have no worries about fussy cutting stuff. I will do it. I am not scared. Come on. There we go. Sometimes it just takes it a second to get in the right spot. Let's cut that excess off. I hate that wing hanging on there. It drives me crazy when I'm watching other people do crafty stuff online and they got that big thing hanging on there. This was so fun. I'm glad you guys came and stayed and hung out with me, because it's super fun when you can craft with somebody instead of by yourself the whole time. Look at that. I think this is going to make it perfect. Oh, so much better. Look at that. So much better. I think that's so much better. Yeah. Candy cuts out for you. Fussy cuts for you. I have no fear in fussy cutting. I used to, but then I just fussy cut so much. I used to do Crazy Creations coloring and stuff all the time, and it's on glitter paper, so you have to cut it out. And then I just got used to it after that, and I was like, oh, fussy cut, no problem. Okay, I'm going to press that down. Perfect. Yeah, I like how fast this stuff dried. I mean, I could totally use this if I, like in the future, because it dried so fast. I really am happy about that. Because that overnight thing, I have to set up for a specific time when I want to make a bunch of backgrounds, and then I gotta wait for them all to dry, and that drives me crazy. Although, I won't lie, the glitter paste is really neat. I like it. I just don't like to wait for it to dry. Then again, I don't like to wait for anything like that to dry. Like, I want instant gratification. Instant gratification. Which is the whole reason why I don't like to wait in line at Six Flags either. Because because you stand in line the whole time, you're like, oh, I've just been waiting and waiting and waiting. You okay, baby? You okay? He looks a little wobbly. Okay. So I'm going to pop this up. I know that we mounted it, but I really think it needs to be popped up too. I think I should have cut this in half. These are my tape scissors, so it doesn't matter if they get sticky on them. I don't like these little edges here to not get any of this pop stuff, because then they push down and they look kind of funny. And so I'm going to do one more over here because I think it needs it. But these slippery little suckers would stay in my hand. I love these tweezers too, I'm telling you. They make me so happy. Because you can place all your stuff down with it. These fake fingernails make that really hard. So these really help. I just wanted to use that piece because if I leave that in my craft room, I'll never find it again. Alright, here we go. About to have this one done. Hey, that's stuck to my finger now. Alright, here we go, here we go. I think I want it to be really close up to the top. Like this. Look at that. Isn't that fun? And look at that up close. Like, look at how pretty that is. And it's dimensional. It's not flat. You can feel it on there. Isn't that super cute? And look at how his eyeball pops. It just looks, wow. Game changers. Right? Oh, of course there's going to be bling. I just haven't put it on there yet. I can't really do any cards with no bling. Are you kidding me? So, I think, not that one. Not that one. Alright, hold on. Alright, I think it needs to be teeny tiny bling. I'll show you. Teeny tiny bling. It needs to be green too. Look at all the greens on this. Maybe we'll use this one. Like this one is the same color green as what I used. So maybe, let me see what I'm doing. Am I too far down? I'll put this down here. Ah, wrong green. There we go. Oh, you were waiting all day for tonight. Oh.
Put a gem as the dots on each of the eyes.
up here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, hubby says we should put them right here too.
Give it a little pop.
We'll humor him. There we go. All right, so let's recap real quick before we... Where'd you put that other one? Did it dry? Or is it still wet as all get out? All right, here we go. You ready? I know, Dale was such a helper tonight. Way to go, dude. Okay.
It's dry.
It's dry? It's dry? So he says it's dry. We can put this card together too.
Yeah, the little top surface is here, but this stuff is
Okay.
dry.
Well, give it to me. Oh, yeah, it is. Look at that. It's dry already. So we can do this one too. Well, that one might not have been dry. But it's gonna happen right now. We might as well put it together. Here we go. We're gonna have to trim it down, just like the other one. Gimme, 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 gimme. You ready? We gotta trim this down. Right here. Oh, I think I just took right off of there. I don't think this one was ready, baby. But we're gonna do it anyway. We'll just touch the non-green areas. Yeah. This one still needs some time. I think we should wait.
Yep.
Alright. Yep. So that was, I mean, it's pretty dry, but not 100% dry. So I think I'm gonna wait. Let's see, did I get it on my trimmer? Yep, a little bit. I'll have to clean that off with something because God knows I don't want to cut my finger. Alright, so this one I'll finish up. I can at least lay it on there so you can see it. I'll finish it up and I'll show it again. So this little guy is going to go on here. I think he's super cute. And we changed his sentiment. So maybe because I stuck my hand in it down below, maybe we'll put him up here. And then we can put this cake sentiment down here. Right over top of where I messed it up. Although, I'm not going to lie, I'm almost feeling like I should, I'm almost feeling like that needs to be matted as well. What do you think? Yes? No? There's another green. I could do it with the same green piece. If I can pick it up with these daggum fingernails. Maybe it needs to be the pink color. I don't know. It needs to be matted, but not with that color. Maybe... This is pink and this is peach. What do you think? I'm gonna need a confirmation. Or the blue on the candle? I was thinking that myself because I think we had extra this color. I think this color would be really good. Let me see, that's not the same one. Let me find it. Hold, please. When we cut all the papers for the make and take that we do, these are the extra sheets. I found one. These are all the extra scraps, and I just couldn't, nope, I didn't. It's not the right color. I just couldn't throw them away because they're still a really good sized piece of it looks like that one, but that's not quite it. What do you think? Bam! There it is. I think blue. Let's remove this so you can't see it. I think blue. Blue, blue, blue. Okay, let's do this one. Oh, I keep getting this cramp in my foot, like a Charlie horse in my foot. It's killing me, man. Okay, here we go. And we can fussy cut this one. This is gonna look really good. Oh man. I just got the green on there. That's okay. You won't be able to see it. Alright, here we go. I think I got something on here. Nope. Alright, I'm all good. I am all good. Here we go. I missed some glue on here, so I'm gonna fix this. Yeah, I just couldn't bring myself to get rid of them, even though they weren't big enough to cut the die anymore, but they're perfect size for, these are my tape scissors. I knew they weren't cutting well. They're perfect size for this type of stuff, so I'm super glad I kept them. But sometimes you start getting so many of those sitting around your house, you have to get rid of some of them. Usually find people who need them or want them, or schools or somebody who might get some use out of those scraps when my bundle gets too big. What are you doing? Oh, I'm cleaning out my scrap bin. My scrap paper bin. So I try not to, when I want to do stuff like this or mount something, I always try to use all my scrap drawer. I have one drawer in my cabinet that has all my little scraps in it. And I always try to use some color in my scrap bucket before I actually cut a full piece of paper for something like that. Unless my heart is dead set on a specific color, and I don't have that in my scrap bucket. I think it's really helpful that way. Alright, here we go. Almost done. Alright, this is going to be amazing. Oh yeah. It needed that. Let me scoot him over a little bit. We can even turn him a little bit like this. I'll move this one down. I think we'll pop that up too. Or we can pop him up. I don't know. What do you think? You hate the odds and ends. But it does. I know. I hate to get rid of them, but it does become overwhelming for sure. You know, get rid of any of them. I think I'm going to pop him up this time, and we'll glue this one down. So let's take it off the pink for now. I am going to go ahead and stick this on here right this very minute. But I don't think I'm going to stick the matte to the pink card just yet, because I don't want to turn it over and, you know, rub it. But I think we could get this on here. Perfect. And then we'll pop up this little guy. Oh, yeah, I can wiggle him. Oh my gosh. I could. I should have. But I think with the wet stuff, I won't be able to finish with the wiggle. So we might have to do a wobble later. I want to do a wobble, and I also thought about doing this as a shaker card as well. I think these little guys look really good as a shaker card. Maybe we'll do a shaker card soon. A wobble and a shaker. Those would be really good. really good upcoming cards to do, I think. Oh, that's really good. That's a really good idea. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I used to always take mine to the youth group at church when my kids were little, when my son and my daughter were in the youth group, and they would use all of that stuff, but they're not little anymore. But no worries, Cooper will come up and and I'll have a little one to do that with again. So I want to tell you this little quick story. While we were at Six Flags today, we were waiting for Haley to ride the Batman ride, and we saw that Batman car. There's like this, like real life Batmobile that they have sitting out in front of the Batman ride. And Cooper had his cape on that said Batman, and he had his Batman symbol on his shirt and Spider-Man shoes. Not that that makes any sense, but he likes them both. And he was so excited to see that car, he just could not take it. So he ran up to that car and he was looking at it, and he was like, "Where's Batman?" And I was like, "I don't know, maybe he's sleeping, or maybe he's busy, or maybe he's in the Batcave." And he was like, "I think he's in the car." So he starts yelling, "Hello, are you in there?" And oh my gosh, I was laughing so hard. He's like, "Can you get up? Come out here." He just kept yelling at the car. I was like, "You just think he's just sitting in his car sleeping?" It was so funny. He just made me laugh so hard. And then we went by the Mr. Freeze, and they said they were renovating it, you know, and he's like hollering inside the Mr. Freeze, "Is anybody in there?" And I was like, "It's closed, baby. It's closed." And he was so funny. He's like, "I just want them to wake up and come out here." And I was like, "I know. I don't think you're going to be able to meet Batman today." He's like, "Why not?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to find him a Batman to meet, because that is so funny."
Take it to another comment.
I know. So here's our sweet little baby dragon card with our manly mandala. And then I'm missing one. Here is this one with the gilding paste. And our Cake is Life guy. I know, so funny, right? They're so cute. Those little kids, they say the cutest things. Honey, was there not another card? Where's the birthday card? Oh, wait, here it is. I turned it upside down. Okay, and then we had this one where we did the oxide and embossed these letters. You can see it a little better if I hold it up, how it's embossed. And then we popped them up. And then we did this one where we used the paste. See how shiny and stand up it is. And then there we go. So look, we managed to do them all tonight. We got them all done. All the cards. Now I have 4 more cards. Now I just have to stamp the back with my new stamp. Look, I'm going to show you this on one card. You ready? Haha, it's me. And then I sign all my cards. And I'll do the other ones later. But look, it's me. It's super cute. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. We got to color, we got to make cards. Look how much fun we had. I know, right? It does, I know. It is like Jamie, she got it for me. She got me one. She's so sweet. So she got me a stamp. And there's our cards, and I hope you guys had fun. And, uh-oh, it's getting low. Yay, I'm so glad you guys had fun. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for hanging in there. I will be back on Monday. And after that, I'm not sure because I travel on Tuesday. But I'll keep you posted for sure. All right, good night, everyone. Super fun. Have a good evening.